What's up, everybody? We're back with some more 101 MMA Clinic, and that means we got some fight picks coming your way. This weekend, we got a super stacked card, UFC 281. Excited to get to it. I'm Patrick Gabutin here with my brother, Alexander Ryachich, Captain Heel Hook himself. So if you're not ready, it's time to get ready. Let's go.
Are you ready? I'm ready. Are you ready? I'm ready. Are you ready? I'm ready. I'm ready. Let's go.
Yo, yo.
What's up, brother?
Cheers, brother. What you
Cheers.
got there?
This I never did any commercial for the beer, but this is one of the best beers that you can get, guys. So
Damn.
try
What
to
is that? Is
find it.
that German or something?
Yeah, it's hard to find it. Like I did after work, I went to the store.
Nice.
I had to treat myself. Like I deserve it. I was like, I'm going
What's
for a good beer.
That's true. What's the percentage on that one? I know Germans go hard.
No, not really. 5.5.
Okay, not
It's
too
not. It's
crazy.
just like a pilsner. I mean, this is like Hefeweizen Munich wheat beer, but it's fucking good. Like if you didn't try it, guys, try it one more time. Paul Reiner,
I'm gonna give that a
one of the
try.
best.
Actually, I
One of
got
the
a,
best.
a double latte oat milk. That's what's up.
I don't know. I'm gonna start crying. Why are you drinking coffee? Take a beer.
Um, you kept me up too late. This is past my bedtime.
Sorry for that. I didn't manage earlier. It is what it
No,
is. But we have a good card in front of us, son.
that's right. We got a pretty stacked one right here. Stylebender versus Pereira is the main event. All right, let's get started. So we're gonna change it up a little bit this time. Usually we start from the bottom up to the main event, but I figure we're all so excited about this main event. Let's start with the juiciness. So first up, we got the main event right here. Interesting right here. Alex picked up the odds for this. Stylebender is actually the favorite going into this, which like a huge storyline going into it is their history. And if you haven't been paying attention, where have you been? Right, Pereira, he's 2-0 going into this fight against Izzy. Their last fight, he actually knocked him out. Alex, what do you think about this? Him being 2-0, do you buy into it? Like, is it that big of a deal, or is this a new fight for us?
I really don't think so. It's kickboxing. It was ages ago. Easy is like a different fighter with all that championship experience. And Pereira has only 7 fights behind him in MMA. And he started in 2015, 16, had matches, and then nothing until 2020. And I
Yeah.
think the spot that he has now is only because easy. So everything about this fight, if you ask me, it's about easy and maybe a little bit that history, but again, that's connected to easy. And maybe Alex, that KO power that he has, you know. But I think that's something that Easy already felt. Um, he knows how to deal with. Like like you saw in his other kickbox match, like he didn't get finished. So he finished only once. It happens to everyone. Again, I think that's ancient history. We have now completely two different fighters. And we're gonna see maybe the best edition of Israel Adesanya. Especially last couple of his fights, it was decision, 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 decision lost. And then we have Paulo Costa where he had really good performance and managed to finish Paulo Costa, even though Paulo Costa, in my opinion, looked like shit in that fight. Maybe that's wine. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. They're both different fighters. It was a bit ago, like 4 or 5 years ago. Um, but even though they're different fighters, they still both bring that kickboxing heavy style into MMA. So that is interesting how it's going to go down with the smaller gloves, right? Obviously, Pereira has that knockout power, but with the smaller gloves, so does Izzy. And one interesting thing is like not just that Izzy has the more UFC experience, but specifically 5 rounds, 5 minutes, right? Their last two fights being 3 rounds, 3 minutes. It's just a different pace, right? It's a whole different rule set to where because it's the shorter rounds, is both fighters have to throw more, right? So the output is different. Whereas like if you see Izzy, especially lately, like he's kind of cool with hanging back and then taking it into the later rounds, which I think is gonna kind of be a weird balance where if he gets Pereira into the later rounds, you would think that Pereira has less knockout power in the later rounds too. But it also gives Pereira 25 minutes to find that shot. So how does it go in the later rounds? We don't know because this is the first time that Pereira's had a 5 round fight. But still, I think the experience is going to be huge. And to me, it makes sense that Stylebender is the favorite going into the just because of the experience in 5 fives.
Yeah, I agree with you. What I want to add, for me, it's even surprise. Like we're gonna see in the next match, like odds. Like it's crazy. They give only -205 easy. So I think that's really good pick, for you guys.
Yeah.
And I think this one, because of the pace and maybe what Alex will try to do, I don't think this one will go to the distance. We're gonna maybe see the best edition of Easy, and don't forget, like he didn't show his ground game. Okay, we are not counting Blahovic, who was bigger and like really high level IQ fighter, and find a way to win. But like if you go back to the Gastelum fight when Easy was trying like triangles even from down, like he had a couple good attacks, like
Yeah.
that was in 2019. So after that, like if you remember, we had like also he was in Atos for a while. Like he was here, he was there, and he is a type of guy who works on fixing his mistakes, upgrading his knowledge. So I imagine like his ground game in 3 years is even much better, but we didn't see it because he didn't have to use it.
Hmm.
And this is maybe the perfect opportunity where he can showcase full MMA, like not just like standing and striking. He can maybe push Alex where he doesn't want to go. He just want to
Hmm.
stand and strike. He will go to the wrestling. He will put him to the ground. He will go to jiu-jitsu. That's like something that we didn't see from Alex, and I don't think he has like as good as Easy has. Plus the championship. So I think this is really good. Even like 205, that's like for me all day, like where I'm gonna put my money.
Yeah, I mean that's an interesting point. Like even if Israel has been working on his grappling, there's been nobody in the UFC so far that has made Izzy want to take it into the grappling instead of just stand up, right? Where this might be the first fight that we've seen that like, hey, maybe it's better to mix it up and do the grappling, even if he doesn't even try to submit him, just to have that extra layer of something for Pereira to think about.
Just
Because,
to take the power, put the
yep,
blood in the muscles, take away that KO power. He has that KO power because like he stays in kickboxing. He doesn't go to wrestling exchanges that much. Nobody really press him that much. I think maybe like only where he really got challenged a little bit, it was against Bruno. And the deal
yeah,
is also that Bruno doesn't mix up. He's really bad. Like if you go to him, like he has from 22 wins, 19 KOs. So he is also heavy striking oriented. Like he has like how many? 8 losses, 6 by submission. You know.
mm,
So I'm
yeah,
really just even that caliber. That's not like high level fighter. If he had like a little bit more ground game and could push it, like it's question would Alex also go through that test? He would maybe even fail there.
yeah. And another thing about like the whole 2-0 is even if it is a stand up battle, like if you go back and watch those two fights before, like Israel wasn't doing bad, right? The first one was very close, and the second one you could say that Stylebender was actually winning that fight until he got knocked out, right? I don't think you could say it's a lucky punch, but he was winning before that punch landed. He even almost finished Pereira. So I wouldn't be surprised if we kind of see that a lot of times you'll see in like a rematch, provided that there's enough time in between the matches. Like the guy who lost the first one, they come in more hungry, right? More wanting to prove something. And that could be the case here. It seems like Izzy has a chip on his shoulder where maybe Pereira is kind of like out of character a little bit, doing the extra, you know. I don't know if you see like on Instagram, he's kind of clowning on Izzy for some of that tennis ball shit he was doing. So I don't know. Maybe the spotlight will get to Pereira, and that'll be even more even more. I don't know, favor for Izzy to just be comfortable and just composed in there.
Yeah, I agree. I agree for sure. I think he's mentally so strong that this is gonna be a great fight for him. You know, especially I think what Alex has, only that power and that's it. I mean, he's
Yeah.
great kickboxer. Don't get me wrong,
Yep. Yep.
but like again, like even if you go, what's his main attribute is that KO power. You know,
Yeah. I see some of the fans are like kind of turning on Stylebender. Have you noticed this? Saying that he's like a boring fighter now?
but that happened with everyone. That went like with Anderson Silva, who was one of the, you know, after his fight with Thales Leites and Damian Maya. It
Yeah.
happened to so many, like because they always expect something, you know.
George
And
St. Pierre too, yeah.
yeah, so you know, like I wouldn't be bothered by that, and I think Easy is like so intelligent that that's not gonna get under his skin, you know. And
Mhm.
especially, I think like even stylistically, and with the whole history, and there's gonna be like a match where he's gonna show full his potential, you know. It's gonna
Yeah.
be like he's gonna be on the stretchers, or he's really gonna show like what he really is. You know, it can happen. Like you know, like it happened. Like you said, he was winning the fight, he got KO'd. You know, it
Yeah.
can happen again. But like my money on minus 200, 205, it's easy. So let's
Yeah.
just wait Saturday and see.
Yeah, and I'd have to agree. Like, I haven't seen your picks yet, but I wonder if it's very similar this time around because I also picked Stylebender for this one.
Yeah, I pick him too. So I'm gonna go with Stylebender, and we're gonna see later when it's full card with our picks what we choose. Let's go to the next one.
All right. Yep. So next one, we got another title fight. This time with the ladies, Carla Esparza versus Wiley Zhang or Zhang Wiley. I've seen it both ways, and I haven't noticed her correcting anybody. So I'm just taking it as like, hey, either one goes. But this is a interesting fight because Zhang Wiley or Wiley Zhang, she's been the champion too, and I actually kind of thought that she beat Rose Namajunas in their last fight. So for me, this is kind of like a champion versus champion. Um, who do you see having this fight?
First, what I'm gonna go like and connect it to the previous match. Like you see here, like we have even champion as an underdog plus 270. You know, that's why like me saying how good is like to pick Izzy, you know, and how it makes sense. Like you know, like she's a champion and she's like underdog and that huge underdog, you
Mm,
know. And I mean, if you look her performances lately, like it's a split decision, split decision, split decision. There is like in four last fights, like three split decisions, you know, that could go either way, you know. So she doesn't look that uh, dominant, and people like now they see the girl who was like taking everyone by the blast, you know. You're not gonna
mm,
count you, even you say like in your opinion she won last fight, and that was also split decision against Rose, you know.
mm,
And then she had like that after I don't know how many fights winning streak. Yeah, basically she lost her first fight and then she had like a 21 until Rose KO'd her, you know.
yeah, she
And
looked unbeatable for a long time for
yeah,
sure.
yeah, and we have like at that, and people forget like why even is that number minus 325 next to her name, you know? Like, and she's back to the track. Like you saw even in the last fight, performance of the night, KO spinning back fist, you know, he's probably
Mhm.
back on the track, you know. And now when you see Carla, I don't know really what she can give her in this match. I'm just like sad that's like that big difference, you know. Like imagine that now Bailey is like minus 200, you know, that would be perfect like to go with Easy and Bailey in a parlay, you know. I would just play those two and put my money on it. That would be amazing bet in my opinion, you know. So I really don't give. I mean, there is always chance, but like I'm giving a minimal chance to Carla, and like even though it's minus 325, I would go with her. You know,
Yeah.
don't see any way that Carla can really win it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see her outstriking her. She could try to wrestle her, but I think Wiley Zhang's solid with the grappling. Even if she hits a takedown, I don't think she's gonna keep her down, and she's gonna lose enough of the striking exchanges, I think, for it to not matter. Also, just in my humble opinion, I think her last fight against Rose, that's probably the worst garbage I've ever seen. Worst fight I've seen. I don't know if you could even call it a fight. I'm surprised that Rose didn't do anything. Um, Not too surprised that Carla didn't. I could see how she could maybe be scared of like coming forward too much, especially because she's not known to be a striker, and Rose just has a way of like just flash knocking out people, you know. So I will say she's improved her striking since we've first seen her fight like Joanna, for example, in like her first UFC fight, but improved, but not anything spectacular. I will say her grappling is I think that's what's winning the fights, right? She doesn't look that good in the striking, but if she gets you down, some of these girls like she could hold down. I just don't think that's going to happen with Zhang Weili. So, you know, who knows? I mean, she has the belt for a reason, and she's been on a streak for a reason. So we could be wrong. I don't see her defending the belt against Wang Zhaili. So it'll be a kind of a cool story for Wiley if she loses the belt and gets it back again. That would be, I believe, the third time that's happened for women, right?
I
What? No,
think
was
so.
Carla the champion?
I
I
think
think she
she
was.
was.
Yeah, she was the first champion. That
Yeah,
would be the third time that a woman has won the belt, lost the belt, and then won it again. So something with
yeah.
strawweights, man.
That's true, you know, and interesting. Like also, like it's like those three women, Rose, Carla, and it would be Bailey.
Yep.
So that would be interesting story, like a trio, and then maybe like even rematch. It would be like Rose and Zhang, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that
that'd be a trilogy. So
yeah,
I think it'd be good. And whatever happens, it can't be worse than Carla's last fight. I hope not.
let's hope for it. Let's hope for some fast finish because you know how I do. I always put my money that's gonna be done as soon as possible. I go like minus 2.5 rounds, minus three, minus 4.5. So hopefully we can see something like that in this one.
I can definitely see that happening, like Wiley Zhang finding a blitz or a little crafty, sneaky, spinning back fist to Carla. I can see that happening for sure. So even with her being a big favorite like this, minus 325, is it worth putting money down, in your opinion?
I mean, like it's skip it or put money on her, or like I said, like maybe play with the rounds. You know, that's something that
Yeah.
I'm gonna do on that night. You know, like maybe I'm gonna go even the same thing you guys are gonna see later. The last week main event. Help me with the names. Lemos.
Marina Rodriguez versus, is it Amanda? I know it's Lemos, but
Yeah, Amanda
yeah.
Lemos. I can go in my book. I write everything. What did I write? Let's see. Can I find it? Never mind. Yeah, we didn't do last week. Yeah, it's Amanda
Oh,
Lemos. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
Amanda Lemos. Yeah,
Somebody did last week, won some money, but we could get to that a little bit
yeah,
later.
we're gonna get to that a little bit later.
Yeah.
Exactly what I was talking. I'm gonna come back to it. Okay, who do we got next?
Next up, in my opinion, even though there's no title on the line for this one, this is my co-main event. This has got fireworks written all over it.
Yeah,
We
this is
got
one of the biggest fights.
Dustin Poirier versus Michael Chandler. I don't think either of these guys have been in a boring fight in their lives. I'd be very shocked. We got Dustin Poirier. I think you could call him a UFC veteran at this point. You know, he's fought across two weight classes, been successful in both, even the champion in 155. And then Michael Chandler, even though he's not a UFC veteran, I think you could say he is an MMA veteran. So
Yeah, for
even though
sure.
he lacks the UFC experience that Dustin has, that's not going to be a factor in this fight. He's used to this high level fighting. Who do you got in this one?
Yeah, I decided to go with the Chandler. Especially like I think like we're gonna see later. That's where you're going with the Dustin. I'm going with the Chandler. Uh, just I think it's his time. I think he's still hungry.
Mhm.
For me, it's a question where is Poirier in this stage of his career, And we saw that Chandler can go through the war. I mean, we saw that Dustin can go through the war. And I don't know, just like plus 180 and with everything on the table, especially like he entered with the storm to UFC, like he did to Hooker,
Mhm.
like what no one did it, like, in stand up. KO him. Then he had like basically fight with the former champion Oliveira. That was like a crazy fight back
Yeah.
and forth until he got finished. Um, and then like what we're gonna say about like fight with Justin Gaethje? That was fight of the year. In 2021, like a crazy war.
Yeah.
And after that, he came with that crazy KO against Tony. So he managed to get back on the track, get like a, let's say, easy victory against Tony Ferguson, beautiful victory, boost his confidence, and he's ready to go to fight Dustin. And we saw in the Dustin's last fight, it's a defeat. It's question how he's
Mhm.
going to return after the defeat from Charles Oliveira. What he had before that, he had like two fights with McGregor and decision against Hooker. If we do, like we said, MMA math, like he didn't manage to finish the Hooker. Chandler
Mhm.
made look it easy. So you know those things like just like push me like to the Chandler, especially like minus 210, and also like coming back to easy doesn't make sense. Like look this, they are so closely, like with with everything, and Dustin is minus 210, and easy and Pereira it's even 205. How much it is?
Yeah.
210. Let's say. It just doesn't make sense. So for me, I'm gonna go with the Chandler on this one, and I think he can even finish Poirier. To be honest,
Mhm. You're saying, Alex, it doesn't make sense to put money on Poirier, or you don't think the odds make sense?
the odds, especially if
Oh,
you
really?
compare it with Easy, that's what I was like making the
I see.
parallel
Yeah. Yeah.
parallel between.
Well, I mean, for me, I'm going with Poirier. Not even because of the UFC experience. Like, I think you're right in that Chandler might be hungrier than Poirier, especially the back-to-back fights against McGregor. We've seen something. Speaking of McGregor, like when you make probably the biggest paydays of your life, and Conor McGregor will do that for you, right? How hungry are you to fight when you've made like the biggest money that you've made back to back? Um, it's kind of telling when Dustin Poirier knocked out McGregor, he had a chance to fight for the title against Oliveira, and he chose the money fight again. So
Mhm.
maybe his head isn't to be number one anymore. I don't know what it is, but I mean he had the chance against Oliveira and he got finished. But you know what? I think if you're gonna beat Dustin Poirier at this time, it's not gonna be with like knockout, which Chandler has the power to do. It seems to be it's grappling that is his weakness, the submissions. And I think as long as it's standing, Poirier is just a more complete striker, in my opinion. Right? He mixes it up. He mixes different targets. Well, I think he's got some underrated boxing. Like a lot of people talk about, like McGregor or the Diaz Bros or even Jorge Masvidal. Not a lot of people talk about Dustin Poirier's boxing, but I think he's got underrated hands, and he's got kicks as well. So I think Poirier is gonna take it to this one. Chandler, it kind of the game plan is out, right? If you can handle an early Chandler, who's one of the most dangerous fighters there is in the first round, if you can weather that storm, he's gonna be there to be hit, right? Whether or not he knocks out Chandler, I don't know. He's probably gonna sit him down on his butt a couple times, and I think that's gonna be the deciding factor. Is just Dustin Poirier's striking.
Yeah, it sounds realistic, even more realistic than what I'm thinking is gonna happen.
Mm,
It's just like again what you said, like and we can even officially call it like McGregor curse. Like that crazy money that even he took, and like you saw now where his life is, like it's
yeah,
fucking like he's lost between reality and dreamland. Like, and it's question, does he want to fight, does he want to do this, and with all those incidents going one behind other, but like also like people that get money from the fight from him, where they are,
right.
if you go back to the names and see, like, just like people, like as soon as they take that money, it's just like they don't have motivation. It's hard, like you take couple mils, or I don't know how much they got paid for that super fight,
Yeah,
McGregor, and after that you need to go to the regular pay. It's hard,
right.
and that's why, like you said, like even Poirier had a chance to go for a title, he chose money.
Yeah.
But
And
it's
even Oliveira, when he was the champion, like he had the choice to fight the number one contender. Like, nope, I want Connor, who doesn't deserve a title fight, but everyone wants that big money, and I can't blame them.
no, who can, like,
Yeah.
take money while you can, and that's normal. But just like I'm joking, like how it's just like the curse of Conor McGregor. Like I was
Right.
thinking, even like I never believed in his quality. Even though he is who he is, he's become even two times champion. But like I was joking always, like I was like he made a pact with the devil. Like
Hmm.
in the previous organization he took two belts, and like
Yeah,
here he took two belts, but he never managed to defend the belt.
that's right.
It's just like he made a mistake when he was signing the contract with the devil, and he didn't put like it was just like I'm gonna take it, and I think he even like in the what he was Cage Warriors,
Yep,
or he even over there he didn't defend any belt.
that's
I
right. Yeah,
think he doesn't have any defense of the belt,
yeah.
so that's interesting. Like, and if you count, I think he took even interim belt against what's his name, the short guy,
Chad Mendez.
Chad Mendes.
Yep.
You're better with the names.
Yeah. It's the coffee, bro.
It could be beer makes you dumb, but
Yeah.
if you want to get dumb, at least take good beer. Mm.
German tonight. All right, so
Okay,
I'm going Poirier. You got Chandler.
that's correct. Let's go
All
to the
right,
next one.
let's see who's next up here. We got Frankie Edgar versus Chris Gutierrez. Did I say that right?
I think so.
You're the
Good.
honorary Mexican here.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. I
I'm
think
getting there.
here we
What's
also
up?
have, or no, we picked the same one here. I think we picked the same one here.
Yeah, this is interesting. This is the first time I'm seeing the odds, but I mean, unfortunately, at this point, it makes sense. It's kind of hard to give Frankie Edgar that much of a chance right now, just because of the streak that he's on. He's 41. He's dropped what, two weight classes down from probably where he was in his prime, and I mean, if there's anything we know about fighting at an older age, it doesn't help to be at the lower weight classes, right? So he's dropping down two weight classes. He's 41. he's someone that's been known to have a legendary chin, right? No one can deny like he used to absorb damage like and come back. He was like the real life Rocky Balboa. But at this point, that chin, I don't think you could say it's there anymore. His last five losses, four of them have been by knockout, which is just crazy if you told me that, I don't know, when he was fighting like the BJ Penns and Benson Hendersons of his era. So to be honest, like Chris Gutierrez, right? He's on a streak. He's got six wins string together in the UFC. I don't know that much about him. For me, this pick for Chris, it says more about Frankie Edgar than Chris, and that's no disrespect to Chris, but it's hard to go for Frankie at this point. How do you see it going?
Yeah, talking about that, like I think this is good fight for Frankie.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna make my like I was going between him and Dan Hooker, you know. And if you see the persistence in that guy, he's 41 years old. He's not backing up. Like
Mhm.
even by going down to 135, you know, like he stayed there. What we're gonna later talk about Dan Hooker. He went down, he lost the first fight, he is going back. You know,
Mhm.
and that's saying on the mindset of Frankie Edgar. He set up something, he's going for it. And I think this is like a perfect matchup for him, you know. Like even if you go to the Frankie's back last fight with Marlon Vera, he was doing really good until that finish, you know. He
That's true.
you
Yeah.
know, so Frankie is still there, you know. It's just like he got caught. Like also like against Corey Sanhagen, you know. It's just like Corey did perfectly like
Mhm.
perfect punch, you know. Can we really take away? I want him to see him beaten, and then I will say, okay, you know, you're done. Like it
Yeah.
was just like two perfect punches, or kicks, or knees. Like
Yeah.
me and the kick. Okay, to be
Yeah.
precise.
And I do harp on him a little bit for getting finished four out of the five times of his losses,
No,
but
actually, he didn't. He didn't finish against Max Holloway. He didn't get
right,
finished.
yeah, four out of the five, four out of the five.
Three.
But yeah, because there's
Ah, okay, you're
Ortega,
right. Also, Brian
Zombie,
Ortega
yeah,
finishing. Okay,
yeah,
okay. You're talking just about the losses. I was thinking the matches. Yeah, you're right. But like again, look at who? Brian Ortega,
exactly.
KO. That's 145. Then Korean Zombie. You know, uh, okay. Like if you go like that, even the Korean Zombie is legend. Like, but like the high level. This is
Mhm.
like for me top of the top fighters.
That's
You know,
true. That's true. If you're Chris Gutierrez, though, you've seen Frankie Edgar fight. You know what he's gonna do. And at this point, seeing Frankie finish, even though it's against the highest caliber of fighter, right, which is also admirable, right? At his age, he's only looking to fight killers, right? But it's the same style of knockout. Maybe sometimes it's a punch or a knee or a kick, but it's a strike up the middle. And you know what Frank Edgar is gonna do? He's gonna box. He's gonna fake the boxing and go for a takedown, or he's gonna fake the takedown and go for the boxing. Right. Other than that, he doesn't mix it up too much. And as long as you're throwing shit up the middle, it seems like at this point, you're probably gonna get a knockout. And Chris Gutierrez, he has that knockout power, so yeah, he's not the same caliber of fighter that Frankie Edgar is used to. So in that sense, I think it's a good matchup for Edgar because it's going to be a step down in competition. It's the last fight of his career. In that way, he's got a good chance. Um, but like I said, it's hard to kind of pick Frankie going into this when you've seen him finish many times, and that just wasn't the case in the past.
yeah, I agree with you, and I see your point. But like, again, like even like, I like Chris. I like his movement. Like really amazing low kicks. You know, like even like he has one finish against. I have the list here because I'm bad with the names. Vince Moraes. Even the match before that with Geraldo de Freitas, he chopped his leg so bad. I think
Yeah.
he will put him a couple times to the ass with those low calf kicks or low kicks, call it however you want. So he has that weapon. He also have some spinning things similar to Cody, but not that level. Like also like he knows how to throw the time that flying knee. So there is a lot of things that gonna make a big problem. Also, like he's super tall for this category. If you go like 175 centimeters, that's like how much, 5'10", 5'11",
Mhm.
against 168 from Frankie. I don't know how much is that. That's like
Yeah.
5'6", 5'7", something like that. So it's gonna be also like that. But if you see the reach, it's on the Frankie side, and I think that
That's
boxing and
crazy.
that wrestling that you said, it's gonna really pay off against Gutierrez if he doesn't get caught, and I
Hmm.
think he will not, and especially that if he goes heavy wrestling, I think that's gonna be easy night for him. However, that crazy sounds, I think if Frankie like sticks to wrestling, because Gutierrez takedown defense just sucks to be honest.
Hmm. Wow. Well, the odds makers don't see it that way, but to be honest, like to see Frankie go out on a win would be nice, you know.
I agree.
But I'm going with Chris. Who and you're going with Edgar, yeah?
Yep, I'm sticking to Edgar.
Okay, so far we're disagreeing on two of them. Who we got next?
Yeah, on
Oop,
this one we are agreeing.
yeah.
Even though I was thinking to go with Hooker, but like, uh, to be honest, only thing that really made me to change is like that what I was saying and why I respect Frankie Edgar. Like he went down, he lost the fight, he went back up, and he fought like a maybe now like a next interim challenger. Like Allen is
Yeah.
like top notch. Like he's like upcoming force to be reckoned. So why not to stick and try another match? Like okay, you have a bad start, like let's try it again. Like you
Mhm.
change the category for the reason, all that weight cut, sacrifice, and now you're going back where you were like more or less just like interesting fight, you
Yeah.
know. So
This is I see a lot of similarities with this and the last fight with the Frankie Edgar. You know, like not just with the persistence, but kind of like the matchup wise. Dan Hooker, he's fought a lot of the best guys available at 155, right? Same with Frankie Edgar. Anytime he takes a fight, it's the best guy that he can fight at that moment. And then now they're at a spot where they've lost more fights recently than they've won, right? Dan Hooker is 1-4 in the last 2 years, but he's only lost to, the best of the best. Now he's getting a step down, it seems, in competition, maybe to help him get back on track. And that's Claudio Puelles. Is that how you say it? Something cool about this dude, I would think he's got probably the most knee bars in the UFC, which is crazy. Like,
yeah, that's surprisingly, I don't even like honestly what I saw. I don't see his ground game at that high level, you know,
yeah. And
and
that's the
that's
thing
super.
is like when you see someone that has a lot of leg locks, sometimes they're like a leg lock specialist where that's all they go for. And if they don't get it, like they might be fucked, right? Like Ryan Hall, maybe a little bit Gary Tone. I think he's got good striking, but sometimes in his fights he only goes for the legs. With Claudio, it doesn't seem like even though he's got a lot of knee bar finishes, it's not the only thing that he can do, right? So I like that and that he's mixing it up a bit more and still finds a way to get the knee bar out of nowhere.
Yeah, actually, like I watched him pretty much preparing for this one, and I honestly don't know where that young man is. Like I'm so surprised. That's why I'm saying, like I'm like even the against who he got that, maybe that was his first heel hook, knee bar. Sorry, in UFC against Felipe Silva. Yeah, that was like close to the end of the fight. He was losing that fight. He
Yeah.
was basically pretty beaten up, like it was done to lose the fight, and then he managed to pull that crazy knee bar. I don't know how. Like it's just like mentally where he is, like it's questionable for me. He has all the talent, like also if you go, he breaks under the pressure, he breaks. That's for me like something that I notice. I don't know, am I right? Because also if you go to his fight against Martin Bravo, that was like a finale of Ultimate Fighter,
Hmm.
that guy was even smaller. He later, after that fight, he went category down to 145. He broke him on the pressure,
Hmm.
you know. And then, like in another fights, also like I saw him cracking like little bit. He managed to get out, like get that knee bar, but for me that was like more or less crazy luck, to be honest. You
Yeah.
know, that one of these two fights I cannot now like I'm drained like porn star's dick, like so my brain is not working good. After a long day of shooting. From shooting and
What you shooting? um, Probably Chris Gretschemacher. I don't know how to. I've seen his fights. I've never known how to say his name, but yeah, it got a little bit dicey at times. And like you said, he was able to pull out that knee bar close to the end of the round. I would say against Clay Guida that wasn't the case. That was
no.
a lightning quick knee bar, but he was winning that fight. Um, it's interesting though that you do think that he could mentally break because against Dan Hooker, someone who's been in the fire against the best, if there's someone that can take Claudio to like a dark place, it is Dan Hooker. I think he can do that. But similar to Frankie Edgar, I just think at this point, momentum is big in this sport, and losing two fights back to back by finish, I wonder where Dan Hooker's at, and that's kind of why I'm picking Claudio, despite him being at this point lower caliber and obviously an underdog according to the odds. But I'm going with Claudio.
Yeah, I agree with you. I also choose the same uh, the same in this one. I was thinking to go with Dan Hooker, but like the most like what was for me also where he is, where
Mhm.
he's in this moment, and especially with that like weight change. Okay, I try, I went like I think his confidence is not that great, to be honest. Even though like you can see and you can say that he lost of the best, like Islam, Chandler, Poirier, like so that's
Mhm.
like creme of the de la creme, like,
Yeah.
and it's just like something. But again, like you can have all rational reasons. If you lose your confidence, it's hard to build it up again, and that's why, like, also for me, it was like okay, maybe he cannot press this guy so much to break. And he had like a great name, like a big name to say in UFC, the legend Clay Guida. He passed that one with the flying colors. So I think that also like puts like a for me little bit on the scale for the Claudio Puelles.
Mhm.
So I just decided there not to go with the hooker, to go with him to mix it a little bit up. I gave a chance to Frankie. I couldn't give it to Dan. So, but I would be surprised if he win this one.
Yep. And I will say if Hooker pulls it off, if the veteran coming off of some bad losses pulls it off, then I'm gonna switch my pick and I'm gonna go with Frankie Edgar the night of. But right now I'm kind of going with the lesser known fighters just because of the streaks.
Honestly, I hope he lose because like if he wins, then we both like gonna lose. And if you go
Yeah.
to the next one, you're gonna see like I think I printed out. Okay, this is all what we pick. So we both pick Adesanya. We both pick Whaley. Here you had Dustin. I had a Chandler. I had Frankie. You had Gutierrez, and on the last one we had vote on Claudio against the veteran Dan Hooker. So if you can go to the next one, please. Yeah. So we have here. This is your picks. So on $10,
Okay.
you're good 94. And I fucked up mine. I didn't print it, but like you can see here on mine on $10 you can get 350. So I like more
Oh,
mine,
okay.
to be honest.
Yeah, that is a big difference. So
It's a huge.
something to look at. Whose picks get a bigger payout for this?
Yep. So
While we're talking about picks, let's see how you did last week. We didn't have a fight pick show, but Alex was still at work, right? Making some picks and winning some money, it looks like.
yeah, I came a little bit late. I think we were on some dinner or where I was. I think I was at David's place changing his water
Mm,
heater, and I stay a little bit longer, so we didn't go to the some lunch or dinner, whatever was at that time. So we came back home, but like in perfect time, so I managed to watch like I think I watched only Magny against Rodriguez and main event, but like
mm,
I managed to cash it in, like it wasn't that bad. So I had here O'Neal Magny 75. I think that I put that during the match, and I put 25 more. So I didn't took the screenshot of that. So on 100, I was good, like uh, close to 200, something like that.
mm.
And I did like also, I did Marina Rodriguez against Amanda Lemos. And that's something, guys, that I recommend maybe for the women's fight next weekend to play. Under 1.5, under 2.5, under 3.5, under 4.5. So
Mm.
we have here under 4.5 minus 140. I put $50. I get 85. On the next one, we have okay. I think this is the one that I play on Lemos. I put like $50. I get like 150. So that's 100 clean. And on the next one, you guys, um, you're gonna see under 2.5. That was plus 150. I put 50 for 125, and 3.5 was plus 100 on 60, 120. So, and I think that's it.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Uh,
that's like 250 around three in that one. Just on the rounds, I think I cash around 300. So 200 clean, I think, something like that. So that's pretty good, I think.
that's not bad. And imagine if you saw even more of the fights.
Yeah, maybe I wouldn't have money to bet at the
Yeah, that's true.
end.
Yeah. No, maybe it worked out. So thanks, David.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. I finally got some time to hang out with him. I didn't see him for a long time. So at least we got to spend some time together, and I managed to do some useful work for him.
Yeah, one of these times, I don't know if have you been to his crew and trained with them a little bit? Shout out David.
No, I promised him like for a long time. That's why I said like I was like that's the only reason why, because I'm studying you up for that. I promise, and this was urgent for him.
Yeah,
You need to have hot water in the house if you
yeah,
don't want your wife to kill you. So that's why, like, even though like you see how I look like I said, I used the good phrase. I'm not gonna repeat. You can cut it later in post.
yeah.
Talking about Chicago MMA guys, you had a pretty good experience. Like this is MMA show. Talk about it. Like I think since your fight, this is your first time MMA experience. This time as a coach, you went with Shaw. He had a fight, unfortunately, like pretty bad loss. He didn't have a chance to show any of his skills. But like talk about experience. Like next to the cage after so long time. How did you
I
feel?
mean, it was a good experience, and it's been a little bit. It's funny being in someone's corner. Like you could probably relate to this, but you almost feel more nervous watching your friends fight than your actual fight, because at least in your own fight you have control over yourself. But watching shot fight, like I didn't have any control over it, so part of that is a little bit nerve wracking, but it's part of the game, and it was a fun trip. Um, in hindsight, I think some of the things we learned is like fucking at this level, if someone misses weight by 13 pounds, that's a full on weight class. Just about, like, weight classes exist for a reason, and I think in hindsight, um, I don't know, maybe that wasn't the best decision to even take the fight if someone's gonna miss weight that much.
No,
But
that's for sure. That's for sure.
but yeah,
That's not even one weight category. That's like two weight categories. Because if you look like there is like what's the difference? They were supposed to do okay. 185, correct?
yeah,
So 13, that's how much? Like almost 200. And like if
yeah,
he only if he didn't cut anything, but like he probably tried to cut, so it add like at least 7 8 pounds. So he's like even one more category,
yeah.
or, or not really. My math is bad.
Yeah, and well, also like the way these work, and this is like a big learning experience for me too, is technically the guy didn't miss weight. So if the guy misses weight, you're entitled to a portion of its purse, right? Because you missed the contracted weight. But what happened instead is they notified the commission before they weighed in that they're not going to make the weight. They didn't step on the scales. So at that point, the negotiations happened to where they asked for a weight class up, right? 205. And he made 205, but he didn't make the contracted weight. So
Yeah, but
that's
that's
the thing, is technically he didn't miss weight. He just renegotiated the day of the weigh-in. So
yeah, but like did Shot get any extra money for that one?
if he did, that's between like the promoters and shit. Not the commission didn't do
Yeah,
anything
yeah, yeah,
like
but
that.
like if he
Yeah.
managed, like that's also like how it happens. Like when they change the category, when I don't know who missed the Diaz, maybe Nick Diaz last time with Robbie Lower. You know, Robbie didn't say for sure. Like, yeah, it's okay. His
Yeah.
manager contact, he took much more money. Like it's a payday. Like it's even more than
Yeah, yeah.
20% or 30% how much you're gonna get for the weight cut. But again, like that's between Shaw and his manager. I don't know what happened like in that moment.
Yeah, but no, as far as like the contracted pay or anything, it did not change because he didn't miss weight.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's also a mistake. If you're accepting, at least you cash it in because they're gonna stay without one fight. But again, who knows how that
Yeah.
would go with the future, especially like when you're starting up. You don't have a lot of room like to wiggle, because they're gonna crash you. And
Yeah.
then it's hard to find the fights. Especially like you saw also that guy, he had like 3-0, and he's
Yeah.
pretty good. What I managed to
Oh yeah, he was good. He was good. I have yeah, I have some other shit. I don't know if I want to out them publicly yet, but
Yeah, why not? What's wrong?
well, apparently, so when we're in the sauna cutting the weight, I was in the sauna with Shaw. Sang overheard them talking to the commission, right? This is like when they should be like weighing in, or like moments before the weigh-ins, right? One of his teammates, or no, his team, like his cornerman or whatever, uh, asked or told them he's not going to make the weight. He's so and so weight. He's not going to make the weight. Can we just say that he made 185? Like, what the fuck? How do you even ask that question? Like, where do you get off asking that question? And it makes me wonder if they've gotten away with shit like that in the past. He's
I
a
mean,
Houston boy. It's a Houston organization. Um, but yeah, like, who the fuck asked that? That's crazy.
I don't know. That's like for me, like little bit. Maybe that was first time attempt, but like if they manage to renegotiate the weight category and everything, I guess they have some experience. Like, but fuck it, that's behind. Like, yeah, going back to that, like some things like that shouldn't be accepted.
Yeah.
Or if you accept, at least like double it, because the money is at the beginning not something like, but at least you want a double of that, so you know why you getting like favor to someone. Talking about that, like I think our team is getting good now. We have a
Mhm.
shot. He made his pro debut. I think Hiriam, as soon as he heals, he's
Dude, he
gonna.
just he sent me a picture of his finger like before this, saying like, "Oh, good news, I'm ready to go." And he showed me the fucking finger. It's so gross, man. If you guys don't know Hiram, he like chopped his finger off at work, and to him it's good enough to go, but he showed it to me. It's a horror story, bro.
Yeah, because he's Mexican, he can be El Chapo, finger Chapo, Pinky Chapo. Is it Pinky?
Yeah,
No, it's not Pinky. Yeah, but like we have him. What's the name of the wrestler kid? I forgot.
win.
Win. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's in
yeah,
Thailand.
yeah. He's a beast.
He looks pretty serious. Like I think soon enough he will make his probably amateur debut. Like and then let's see how that goes. But I think he's very dedicated, young, and we have a couple solid guys that can help. Like I think our team is better than ever. Like in that sense, like now it's like a talent at the gym.
Yeah, we got some hungry lions over here, chomping at the bit.
Yep, that's why I just teach now. I'm not gonna train. Just gonna sit in the corner and be like a wise old man.
Alex, now you're the lion tamer.
Lion tamer, yeah. Yeah, I guess I'm good with that. No, I
Uh,
still want to roll. I still want to go. And after Thailand, I'm gonna start even probably like sparring more. Like I just need some time, like to spend to get some consistency, and then I can jump in. Because like this, I don't feel comfortable enough even to control my power, or like I don't like getting hit.
yeah, that's probably good.
Look this beautiful face.
Yeah, you don't want to have that looking worse. That's for sure.
That's true. Yeah, that's the only way how we can say it, because I don't look beautiful. Okay, brother. Like porn star's dick. I want to get some rest.
Yeah, let's end on that.
Yeah, let's finish like that. That's good enough. Like I don't know. Like you need to cut that and post. I want to see how it sounds. Will it's gonna get catch and be like a world accepted phrase? I'm tired of this.
It's gonna be on t-shirts and hats and shit. Probably
Yeah.
condoms too. All right, ciao,
Okay,
brother.
brother. Let's call it out. We are under 1 hour.
Nice.
Tonight a little bit longer, but big event. That's it, guys. Thank you for watching. Have a
All
good night.
right, peace out, y'all. Enjoy the fights.